But what we need to do is address the areas that are still vulnerable. And those areas require technology, wall infrastructure, more individuals at times. That we need surveillance equipment, camera equipment to be fixed. Only 1 out of 3 CBP cameras are really functional right now. So the reconciliation package is incredibly important for us to have the resources we need at the border, but also to make sure that CBP can continue to do their work that they do of our ports of entry, assessing tariffs and collecting duties.
Hey folks, welcome back to True Voice. I'm Andrew, and if you're new here, hit that subscribe button so you never miss a take that cuts through the noise with truth and conscience. Today, we're reacting to a clip where Senator Rick Scott questions DHS Secretary Kristi Noem about the border. And let me tell you right now, this is pure political theater dressed up as policy. Let's watch.
Thank you, Chairman. First, thanks, Secretary Noem, for being here today. I want to take this opportunity to thank you and President Trump for returning the Department of Homeland Security to its core mission of securing the homeland and making communities safe again. We had an increase in threats under Biden and a complete open border. You have prioritized our border. Daily border encounters have plunged 95% since President Trump took office. Is that correct?
That is correct.
You're finishing the border wall. In 100 days, DHS already has 85 miles of new construction, either planned or under construction.
That is correct.
That sound right?
Yes.
The Trump administration has reunited nearly 5,000 unaccompanied children with a safe relative or guardian after the Biden administration completely lost track of over 300,000 of these vulnerable minors. That sound right?
That is correct.
The United States Customs and Border Protection and the U.S. Coast Guard have seized nearly 232,000 pounds of fentanyl and other illicit drugs, stopping them from ever reaching American communities or Florida shores. Sound right?
That is correct.
And you are bringing accountability to the agency. It's incredible what we can do with a willing partner like you and President Trump, who actually want a secure border and enforce our laws. Secretary Mayorkas testified repeatedly before this committee and lied to my face, saying that our border was secure. Clearly, it was not. Worse, the Biden administration dismantled every process and system we had in place to secure the border and allowed millions of illegal aliens, including hundreds of known terrorists, to come into our country unchecked and unvetted, wreaking havoc and bringing drugs. They were welcomed into our country by Mayorkas and the Biden administration. Secretary Noem, you've been working for months to fix the mess your predecessor left behind. Is the border secure?
Yes, it is.
Besides additional resources, which you clearly need, what legislative fixes do you need from Congress to maintain a secure border?
Well, Senator, thank you for the question. This border is the most secure border that we've ever had in the history of the United States of America. But what we need to do is address the areas that are still vulnerable. And those areas require technology, wall infrastructure, more individuals at times. That we need surveillance equipment, camera equipment to be fixed. Only 1 out of 3 CBP cameras are really functional right now. So the reconciliation package is incredibly important for us to have the resources we need at the border, but also to make sure that CBP can continue to do their work that they do of our ports of entry, assessing tariffs and collecting duties, all of that. But beyond that, reconciliation has needed assets for other areas of our national security portfolio. The fact of the matter is the Department of Homeland Security is one of the largest agencies with one of the smallest budgets. And the task that we have taken on is gotten more and more complicated all the time as things move online, cybersecurity, bad actors get more sophisticated. And now we've let these dangerous terrorists and cartel members into our country, in the interior of our country, that threaten the American public. They need to be removed and taken out, and we're fighting a court system at times as well. So that reconciliation package makes sure that we're able to do due diligence in the work that we do and really assure the American people that we're on watch for them. Beyond that, Remain in Mexico policy to be codified would be incredibly important to make sure we have stability in that policy going forward. Some clarity and credible fear would be wonderful to have if this body would choose to tackle that. That would help us not have to deal consistently with court challenges and tie us up fighting that battle when we really should be addressing security concerns.
Miami is one of the 11 U.S. cities hosting matches for the upcoming World Cup. Can you discuss how DHS is preparing for that and how DHS is working with the state and the locals to make sure they have everything they need for a successful and secure event?
Yes, we are working diligently with FIFA and other entities to ensure that cities and states have the assets that they need. This will be an unprecedented world event. It'll take place in 3 different countries, and many cities across our country, but also Mexico and Canada, and it will take place over a month. It's the equivalent to 10 different Super Bowls, and we will at times have 11 different matches going on in the country on the same day, and making sure we're supporting security operations in all of these cities is imperative. So having the conversations now, there's meetings happening almost every single day between our department, the White House, the federal government, and FIFA, and these cities, to ensure that we have the protocols in place, the guidelines in place, universal approach to how they're going to be applied, and then what we can do to secure not just the ground and territory and access to these events, but also the air space above it. We need counter-drone technology. We need to have jurisdiction to be able to make sure that we're dealing with those threats as they present themselves, but also make sure that we have the men and women that are trained and prepared to secure them going forward. It will be safe and it will be secure. It's a lot of work because we've never done anything like this before, though.
Well, thank you for all your hard work and your team.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
So right out of the gate, Rick Scott is basically reading off a Trump campaign brochure. He's throwing out numbers like border encounters dropped 95% and crediting Trump for finishing the wall in 100 days. Spoiler alert, that's not accurate. Trump didn't finish the wall, and the 95% stat, that's cherry-picked spin, not reflective of the full reality. Now, I care about border security. Every nation should know who's coming in and out. But we've got to stop pretending that cruelty and cages are synonymous with safety. What we need is smart policy, not fear-mongering wrapped in red, white, and blue. Kristi Noem confidently says the border is secure. But let's be real. That's only true if your definition of secure is driven by optics instead of outcomes. The real issue isn't how tall a wall is, it's whether we have humane, efficient, and effective immigration systems. And on that front, we're still behind. What they conveniently leave out: the fact that many migrants are fleeing violence, poverty, and instability, often rooted in U.S. foreign policy decisions. These people aren't invaders. They're families, human beings, and this administration should stop using them as political props. I mean, props to them for prepping security for the World Cup, but isn't it telling how much funding suddenly becomes available when it's about international sports and not humanitarian aid at the border? Listen, being patriotic doesn't mean buying into scare tactics. It means standing for liberty, justice, and compassion for all. We need immigration reform, not paranoia. We need facts, not Fox News talking points dressed up in Senate hearings. If you're tired of political puppetry and want a voice that actually speaks for the people, subscribe to True Voice. Hit that bell so you don't miss what the mainstream avoids. Let's keep demanding a better America, one rooted in truth, humanity, and justice. See you next time.